now. You first have to unpin yourself, find a way for the knight to come to the center of the board, and then start threatening. And as Magnus does that, he's running out of moves as well. How many moves to go before the 50-move rule comes into play, David?
Still plenty. Still over 40 moves left for Magnus to torture Vidit here. But look how the Black King is running. The key idea is to run while White's knight, White's rook are busy to try and run away. But Magnus is trying to keep that escape close. He's going to use his rook to kick the Black King back to one of the edges of the board. So still some hard work. But again, good technique from Vidit, keeping the rook far away now. He's going to check the White King and break the White attacking formation. No real way for the White Knight to shield any checks. The White Knight needs to be here, really, but it takes too long to get there as the King steps back.
And as a defender in this position, it's so important to not get into the forest of which move where should I go with my king? Yes, you've got these options, but you don't sit and start calculating. As long as you can see that there's no direct path, you make a decision and you play fast. The problem happens, the mind starts sort of seeing these ghosts when you spend too much time deciding which square to escape with your king when there's a check. So just general rule of thumb, if your king and the rook is far away, there's no immediate fork, make a decision and play it.
Yeah, and that goes to your earlier point about what Magnus is looking for, David. He's looking for that one moment where he's got Vidit in time trouble, and he has to make a crucial decision, and maybe just makes a singular misstep, opening up a path to victory for Magnus Carlsen. Either way, Vidit now 13 seconds on the clock with a little bounce.
James, he has to hold this one. Vidit must hold this one. For a chess player, if you let go of this, it's really tough to play your next game. And then you go into a tilt.
Yeah, you'd be kicking yourself to let this one go when, as we've stated before, both these players know that with perfect play, this is a draw.
Yeah, it's like a badge of honor knowing how to draw this one in your sleep, basically, as a Grandmaster. But, of course, when the lights, the cameras are on you, and especially the first game of any tournament, there's always going to be some nerves. Vidit's done everything perfectly so far. Great result incoming for him if he can continue to do so. But Magnus has centralized the knight. No more checks against the White King. The White Rook will, again, find a new angle to try and kick the Black King to the back rank.
And what a moment this is for Vidit, right? He makes his debut into the Grand Slam tour here in Paris with his crushing victory in the qualifiers. And this is his first game as a married man. His wife is right there in the playing hall watching this happen, and it's against none other than Magnus Carlsen. So getting this draw has got to be feeling good for Vidit.
Yeah, thrown in at the deep end here. Black against Magnus round one. What better way to warm up? But there we go. He's calmly defending. Note how he's just getting ready to run away with the king. He wants to use his king to run, and he'll often outrun the White King, which often needs to protect its knight. So it's a bit slower in the foot race here. And still holding the draw despite being cut off.
And speaking of the matchups in general, I think it's a good opportunity for us to explain to the viewers at home that obviously the matchups were of random draw. Yesterday at our dinner, we had each of the players drawn by random cards, and then seeded randomly as a result. 1 playing 12, 2 playing 11, and so on and so forth. Of course, given that it's a round robin, we will have 11 games played where every single player manages to meet each other. But like you say, what a way to kick things off up against Magnus Carlsen as your #1 match.
Yeah, and the White King goes one way, Vidit slides the other way. Again, great instructive technique. For everyone at home learning how to defend this endgame, it's a key one to have in your arsenal. It's nice to know what endgames you can safely bail out into, for example, if all things go wrong, pull that emergency brake. Yeah, this is great technique. The Black King goes one way, and yeah, whichever the way the White King goes, you run the other way. The Black Rook now cuts off Magnus from making progress as well. Extra bonus, he's getting closer. 30 moves now. The 30-move countdown begins for Magnus to try and win this game.
And he's trying to reroute that knight to another square at the center of the board, just creating a path for his own king to come closer towards Vidit's king, corner that king, and only then can you start threatening checkmates. The other big takeaway that's been from this endgame on how to defend, technique 101, you said walk away with your king on the opposite direction of the attacker, is also keep your king and the rook as far away as possible. Only bring it to defend, to become your king's neighbor when necessary, because you never want to walk into a fork.
Yeah, getting forked. Worst feeling in chess. And,
been there, done that.
Yeah, we've all been there, especially in Blitz, especially in this type of time control, but Vidit holding his nerve well. And now the White Rook didn't quite make it on the other angle. He's trying to find new paths forward, but yeah, black just doesn't need to worry at all. As long as you've got the white knight pinned, nothing can go wrong. I say
Black
that.
king stepping forward.
Yeah, he's going to have to choose a side of the board. Both sides, I think, are fine.
I don't think any of the other players expected round one to go on this long. We're just getting started here.
Yeah.
That's a good point, right? All 10 other players are sitting off probably in their respective green rooms watching this game play out, but thinking about the fact that they've got 5 more battles to wage before the day is over.
Yeah, and sometimes friends, family, they ask me, how do you spend so much time playing chess each day? And I'm like, I was only playing a blitz game, only playing a 10-minute rapid game. This is a 10-minute rapid game, and we've been going an hour nearly. So, yeah, chess never ceases to surprise, and there's beauty in this type of marathon chess.
But that moment, it feels like it's coming closer because Magnus has managed to sort of, in a way, corner Vidit's king to that final rightmost line rank on the board. He blocks the check. And Vidit somewhere will have to be careful. He's threatening a checkmate in one. If the rook slides over, that will be game over. So Vidit needs to move the king.
He has to come forward. Only move to save this game is to bring the king forward 1 square to h5. Going back loses.
Oh,
he goes back. And now it's over. If Magnus just brings
Magnus sees it.
What's
king
the
forward, king f7, and it's checkmate next move. Guaranteed.
There's no defense, and he does it. He does it.
Vidit has blundered. Magnus is about to win.
Oh, you know what?
Wow. The
Vidit's
recognition
checking.
sets in. That will be it.
Vidit's checking if they've completed the 50-move rule. If the next move hits the 50-move mark, it's a draw. Vidit will say, I play my king. Is it 50 moves since the last pawn was picked up, David?
Unfortunately for Vidit, the answer is no. At move 87, the last pawn disappeared. This is move 116, so not even 30 moves.
He's going to resign then.
Yep.
Yeah, he's about to get checkmated. He gave his rook too few checking squares. He should have gone from the other side with his rook.
Yeah, our incredible arbiters stepping in to make sure that everything goes the way it should.
Vidit with a shake of his head. His appeal has been denied. 50 move is far away. He's about to resign and lose this marathon game, and this one's going to hurt.
Magnus gets the extra 2 minutes for a false claim. Magnus takes the win. Vidit resigns. Heartbreaking. He was so close to the draw. Did everything right for 114 moves. But on move 115, the blunder eventually came.
Yeah, great respect shown between the players as the handshake is extended, and quickly talking about what the options were there. Magnus, I think, even pointing out perhaps the only option there for Vidit was to step forward with the king. But either way, our world number 1 does start out his tournament run with a victory here. And for Vidit, he will fall down with a loss early on. That's round 1 of the day. We have 5 more rounds to go in our round.